Hello students, myself Professor Ankur. I welcome everyone for the GATE theory session on analog circuits. Today we are going to cover an important topic from diode, that is session 10, and we are going to cover DC load line of the diode. So let's start with the session now, the DC load line of the diode. So first of all, what we need to understand here is we are trying to get the load line characteristics on the VI characteristics of the diode. So for this, we are going to consider a simple circuitry. If you can observe the diagram carefully, you can see a VDD supply notified as plus minus attached to a resistor R and then followed by a diode defined by T. The voltage drop across the diode will be VD and the current flowing through the diode will be defined as I. So now, what is the significance of this entire effect of load line characteristics of the diode? So when you see the characteristics of the diode, that is basically the operating characteristics of the diode. So we are aware that whenever we talk about the conduction of the diode will start conducting, if it's a silicon diode, after 0.7 volts, and if it's a germanium diode, it will start conducting after 0.3 volts. So when we draw the load line on the same graph, you will get an intersecting point. So the intersecting point is actually corresponding to the operating point of the diode. So this is the significance of the DC load line analysis of the diode, where we can get the operating point of the diode. The load line will actually intersect with the characteristics of the diode. So all of us are aware that basically when we talk about a diode, the diode is actually a non-linear device. And similarly, the other active family members like transistors, MOSFETs also, they will have somewhat like non-linear characteristics. So whenever we talk about the load line, we always get the operating point or the current at the voltage at which the devices are operating. So now when we apply a simple KVL to the circuit loop given, it will be plus VDD minus I into R minus VD is equal to 0. So that's the reason, if you can observe, we get an equation. So we can define the value of VD as VDD minus ID into R. So this is basically the Kirchhoff KVL equation that we have got. So on rearranging, we will get the value as ID is equal to minus of ID is equal to minus of VD by R plus VDD by R. So this will satisfy the equation y equal to mx plus c. So when we go for the x-intercept and the y-intercept, you will get the value of y-intercept as VDD by R and the x-intercept as VDD. So if you can see and go back to the diagram, you will find VDD by R as the y-intercept point and VDD as the x-intercept point. So now when I join these 2 points, the load line will actually cut the characteristics at a particular point. So that characteristics will be the operating point of the diode. So this is how you can get the operating point by just putting a load line of the diode circuitry on the characteristics and we get the operating point. The next is we are trying to understand the switching behavior of the diode. So what do you see here is there are 2 arrangements. On the left hand side arrangement, you will see a battery with resistance R1 for the diode T, and on the right hand side you will have a battery with resistance R2. But if you can observe the connections carefully, you will find that the left hand side battery will try to make the diode forward bias, whereas the right hand side battery will make the diode reverse bias. So here we are trying to study how the diode will react with respect to the switching voltages. So initially we can say that the switch is in the on position where it is connected to resistance R1, which will make the diode forward bias. And then suddenly we will switch the position from R1 to the connection for R2. And because of this, the diode will immediately go to reverse bias. So because of this, what is going to happen? Let's check. So if you observe carefully, you can see a response, or you can say the voltage versus the time behavior of the device can be observed, where during the forward bias, the diode was working like a closed switch, and that's the reason the forward current will be defined as Vf by R. And during the reverse bias, the diode will work actually like a open switch. Practically, when we talk about the current, it is always the reverse saturation current flowing through the diode under reverse bias. Under ideal situation, we say that a diode does not conduct, but practically a very small magnitude of current will flow. But the behavior of switching here is a magic effect, like when the PN junction was forward biased, the barrier was actually broken, the charges were flowing from, when the electrons are flowing from N to P, the current will be flowing from P to N. So this is a discussion regarding the forward bias. So as soon as you connect the battery from position 1 to position 2 and immediately making it reverse bias, since the barrier was absent and the flow of charge will be now opposite, you directly get a reverse current which will have a value minus of VR by R, where VR is the reverse voltage applied and VF was the forward voltage applied. So because of this, you got an impact. So you will find a time span where you will get an impact of TS, which is called as a storage time. So the time period for which the diode remains in the conduction state, even if it is reverse bias, it is called as a storage time. And then it will have the transition time towards the reverse bias effect. So the time lapse in returning back to the state of non-conduction, that is steady state revert bias, it is called as your transition state. So this is the major impact of the diode. Whenever we talk about a diode and a signal, suppose it's a sine wave signal given to a diode, immediately a circuitry like rectifier will come into our mind. So during the positive cycle, we used to get an output, and during the negative cycle, the output was taken as 0. But if you consider a square pulse as an input for this, so for studying the behavior, it is as good as we are giving a square pulse, because we are handling the entire operation in DC. So it is as good as you are giving plus V and minus V for the operation. So during this effect, you will find that the diode will definitely conduct in the reverse state also. So that impact will be under the impact of storage time. And then when it is having the transition to reach its reverse bias steady state, that will be the transition time. So overall, if you observe, there are two time period required. The first time period that can be defined is a reverse recovery time. It is the time required for the diode to change from forward bias to reverse bias. It is your reverse recovery time. And the forward recovery time is the time required for the diode to change from reverse bias to forward bias. That is called as forward recovery time. So overall, if you see, the two important parameters that we understood from the graph is the storage time and the transition time. So this is the main impact of a diode which is going to operate as a switch. Thank you.